Every moment you're choosing something, even when you think you're not. You know, the world is a creation of our thought. Buddha says, what you think you become, you create your world. And the Bhagavad Gita says, thought by thought you forge your destiny. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Shakespeare said, there's nothing good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. All of these are talking about our concept of our thought being creative. And sometimes our thoughts are we may seem like they're not choices, but when we come to realize that they are choices, that we have chosen to believe an outcome, we start to realize how silly some of the choices we're making really are. For instance, I'm sitting here in my video studio. There's a stain on the ceiling right up there. Now, that's because a while ago, a squirrel got into the attic. And I called a company and they live trapped it and they took it far away and they let it go. And I came in here with a can of Kills Primer paint and I started painting over the stain. As I was painting over the stain, I looked over on a table about 7 feet away. There was a brand new black button-down collar dress shirt. And I looked at that shirt, and before I could consciously think, I said, oh man, I'm going to get paint on that shirt. And that second, one drop of white paint flicked off the brush, flew 7 feet across the room, and landed on the front of that black shirt. Now, I didn't consciously create that, but that was a choice to believe that I was going to get white paint on that shirt. The interesting thing is we live 85 to 90% of every day in our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind has a life of experiences behind it. But those life of experiences and that underlying belief is a habit. We are habitually thinking this because of the experiences. It's when we break free of the habit of the subconscious and come into the very choice of the conscious that we can create new subconscious mind that gets us to create from a perspective of positivity. You know, the past has a whole bunch of experiences, some of them good, some of them bad. And if you've had a lot of trauma in your life, you know, having a parent who's not kind to you or something of that nature, you know, those are the experience of your life, and they have an underlying belief system, a subconscious belief system. But here's the interesting thing about your subconscious is not present. It's all about that past experiences and the underlying belief of that past experiences. Yeah, and what's so interesting about that is that means your subconscious mind is made from your conscious mind. So when you can get very present, which is what all the spiritual teachers talk about, getting very present, I am, not I was or I will be, coming right here and right now, and you start stacking single present moments that have a positive outcome, you are literally altering your subconscious mind, which is the habitual mind. You know, there's no accidents in life, there's choices. And sometimes those choices are subconscious. You know, what are you choosing right now? Oftentimes you don't even know what you're choosing right now because of the subconscious kind of regurgitating things. So take some time to listen to the words that are dropping out of your mouth, because 85 to 90% of every day, those words are coming from your subconscious. And if you could just take some notes, start to realize that those subconscious thoughts are creating the outcome. And then you start to go, okay, I'm going to alter these subconscious beliefs by getting very present and negating those beliefs and replacing them with a new one. There's an illusion of powerlessness in the world. People tend to think they're powerless because the subconscious mind says this is how life is, and they feel like life is happening to them rather than for them. But when you shift the concept of life happens for me, everything changes, because now you step into the role of divinity. You step into the creative process. You know, conditioning teaches passive living. You live in reaction to stimulus. And now a quick word from our sponsor. Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com. Jeshua said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. In other words, be 100% authentic and truthful and declare your life, but not live into the stimulus of the past. You can say yes to a belief or no to a belief, and let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Be very straightforward. Beliefs are choices. that we continue to make. And we can continue to make from that subconscious idea, or we can choose to create a new idea to fill our subconscious mind with. The present moment can be, well, I'm not a big fan of the concept of crossroads. I think we're all on one path, and the path is formed behind us as we place our foot. But that idea is that we are always at the precipice of creation. We are the pinpoint of creation. And every thought, word, and deed happens now, and that creates a ripple of creation. Choose to love rather than choosing to fear in the face of conflict. Get very conscious as opposed to subconscious or unconscious. Make choices and hold on to those choices until they shine light into the world, and then, expose those habits and reactions as moment-to-moment choices. Once you've exposed them, Yoda said, "Oh, named must your fears be, before banish them you can," right? You have to name those beliefs before you can banish them. You have to understand what your subconscious is believing before you can banish them. But an awareness turns reaction into response. Instead of reacting to that subconsciously, you're now going, "Oh, no, I'm not doing that. I am doing this." And you start creating from a different perspective entirely. This concept of right here, right now is my outcome. And when you look at the idea that every moment you're choosing something, even when you think you're not, every moment you're choosing something. But the question is, are you choosing from a reaction to stimulus, or are you choosing from the role of the creator? Are you being the creator in your life? What are you choosing now? Are you choosing freedom? Are you choosing love? You can choose freedom. You can choose ease. You can choose love. And here's something I'm going to tell you. When you choose to be love, those who are mired in fear, who are around you now, will either change for the positive, or they will self-eject. And that's got to be okay, because everybody's on their own journey. Everyone's on their own path. And if you change your life to a loving life and those people self-eject, that's because they're invested in fear. The greatest thing you could do for them is to be the love in their life so that they can see it and make their own choice. Some of them are going to choose love with you, and some of them are going to choose fear. That's not your job to tell them or be sad about them not choosing fear. That's their choice. They have that ability. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.